All right, folks, this is the long-awaited motor installation video for the Hamm's Scenorama. We're here today, Stephen Miner, Dr. Hamm's, and he's going to guide us through new motor installation, Hank's Craft genuine US-made motor, which were just received this week, Thursday. You had a little delay in getting them because of the COVID pandemic.
Yep.
Yeah. Take her away, Steve. What?
Okay, obviously the motor has already been removed. It's fairly simple. There's just two Phillips screws here and here, and the motor will lift right out. Now you'll notice on the bottom, there's like a little cross pin through the shaft, and when you put that back in, there is a slot in the roller.
Yep, that slot is shown.
Yep. Now, everybody thinks when they see the other side, they think that's broken. But it is not. That's the way it's designed. And the reason they do that is in case the motor or the shaft should seize up, that part will break. So in other words, it won't overheat and possibly cause a fire. I've had people call me and need a new set of rollers. So I sent them out a new set of rollers and they said, well, it's just like the one I had. But they always think that is broken. One thing that you got to make sure before you put the motor in is make sure this rolls nice and smoothly. Obviously, that motor will still turn it if it doesn't, but it'll really reduce the life of the motor. So make sure that this turns real nice and smooth, just like this. If it doesn't, a little grease in these bearings, a little oil, 3-in-1 oil, will help. But this one turns really nice. Okay, so what we do is we have to line up this cross pin with that little slot in that shaft. So you just turn this, put your motor in there, until it lines up. Takes a little finagling here. And you want the one cross pin right in that slot, just like that. And when I go, it'll slide right in once it's in there. And then just put your screws back in.
There are other sellers of motors that are kind of similar.
Yes.
And what do you find the most common problem is people will buy a motor that looks the same, but it'll spin.
It doesn't. It isn't. The most common problem is the motors will fit, but they are not the correct speed. The correct speed is 1.45 RPM counterclockwise.
I'm going to see. Okay, that's upside down, but this is the motor you would get from Steve. And as of this taping, the motors are currently priced at
$75 each.
Yep, 75 plus shipping. So
yes.
All right. And you often have problems with people just mailing you a check and not putting what it's for in it.
Yeah, quite often. Yeah, I try to encourage somebody when they send me a check to just describe what they want. And another thing is if they send me PayPal, sometimes they won't put the return address on, and so that obviously slows things down. So. Yeah, please put a note in there and as to what you need and your return address. Now, once the motor is in place, you won't be able to turn this, so don't try to. There's just no, it will not turn, so that's not anything to worry about. So then you take your wires and route them down, and they go underneath through this light guard. That's what this is just a light guard. And it doesn't matter, these wires can go either way. Twist them together, like so. And you want to hand me the wire nuts there, Barry? These little babies just twist right on there.
And actually, these things were made to be run more often than not, right?
Oh gosh, yeah, they used to run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I always tell people, in home use, it's a pampered life for them. And if the rollers are nice and smooth, the bearings are good, the motors will last definitely, almost indefinitely. So
don't be afraid to run them.
No, I say make sure these fit on here good and tight, like so.
And Steve, would now be a good time too to veer off into these starters?
Sure, we could do that. Each bulb there's two bulbs in this. Obviously, the one that's been removed. This one right here. That one goes in here. This does need to be replaced, by the way.
And that bulb is a...
This one here?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there's... Now, this is an F14 bulb, and it's a daylight, which is the original bulb that came in these. There is a soft white bulb out there that most places have. I prefer the daylight ones just because it's a little bit brighter. The soft white one obviously will work, but I prefer the daylight one, and that's the one that originally was in there. And obviously, you can see this bulb here is on its last legs. This I would replace, but for the time being, now each bulb has a starter, and these are FS2s, and that's what it has to be, is an FS2. And those just twist in here like this. Those are the two parts. These ballasts and these, that's what causes the light to light. If you have one that doesn't light, it's usually the bulb or this guy. Once in a while, these go bad. Usually, if these go bad, what happens is you put a bulb in her, boom, it'll burn out immediately. If that happens, then you got a bad ballast.
Okay. And are ballasts available?
Yes, I have those also.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I just automatically, when I do a Scenorama, I just put new bulbs in. They're fairly inexpensive. This one here, obviously, and you can tell this is still an original bulb because it still has the masking tape on it. But this one here comes out a little more. You just go down here and twist this, and it just slides out just like that.
And that bulb is a, let's see.
This is an F15 T8, and 15 is the diameter. 15 is the length. The T8 is the diameter.
Okay.
This is a T12, which is a bigger diameter. T8 is a smaller diameter.
All right.
They both use the same starter. You put the new one in, you just slide her in there and just guide it in place.
Run it down and give it a twist.
And bingo.
All right.
Yep. So it's pretty cool, actually. This sign here is pretty much an original because obviously that bulb has never been replaced. I'm guessing this one hasn't either by the looks of it.
And this was obtained from a couple from Buffalo, Minnesota. We did a parking lot deal up in Maple Grove, Minnesota, and I was amazed to find the scenes for these, Steve. When a person puts in it, do we dare delve into scenes? Probably not. This is enough for the motor installation. So
okay.
Our next video, stand by, but Dr. Hamm's live from the kitchen table, St. Paul, Minnesota. If you want to reach him, email him at miner@bevcom.net. You can find us on ibuyoldbeer.com. My name is Barry Travis. This is Stephen Miner, Scenorama Motor Installation 101.